Hello, curious minds. What if we told you that by the time your kids are adults, humans might be living on private space stations, and the ISS, the first home we built in orbit, will just be a memory? The International Space Station has been humanity's home in orbit for over 30 years, but all things, even incredible engineering feats like the ISS, must eventually come to an end. So, why is it retiring? First, the ISS is simply getting old. Launched in 1998, its modules and systems have been exposed to harsh space conditions for decades. Metal fatigue, wear and tear, and outdated technology make maintenance more difficult and risky. Second, keeping the station running costs billions of dollars every year. NASA and its partners are beginning to weigh the benefits of continuing the ISS against investing in new technologies, like lunar missions, Mars exploration, and commercial space stations. Finally, the focus of space exploration is shifting. The ISS has been a platform for research and international collaboration, but now NASA is preparing for the next era, where private companies and new orbital platforms take the lead in low Earth orbit, freeing governments to explore deeper into space. In short, the ISS isn't being abandoned, it's graduating. It's making way for the next generation of space habitats, where innovation and exploration will reach new heights. So, when exactly will the International Space Station retire? The current plan sets 2030 as the final year for operations. That gives the ISS over 3 decades of service orbiting our planet, an incredible run by any standard. Retiring the station isn't as simple as flipping a switch. NASA will perform a controlled deorbit, guiding the ISS safely into Earth's atmosphere so that most of it burns up, with any remaining fragments fall into a remote part of the South Pacific Ocean, far from people. A place sometimes called the spacecraft cemetery. Think of it like a carefully choreographed farewell to one of humanity's greatest achievements in space. And while the ISS slowly disappears from the night sky, new platforms, like commercial space stations, will be ready to continue our journey in orbit. It's a moment of transition, the end of one era and the dawn of the next. And for those of us watching from Earth, it's a reminder of just how far we've come, and how far we can go. With the International Space Station retiring, humanity is preparing to enter a brand new era in low Earth orbit, the age of commercial space stations. Companies like Axiom Space, Blue Origin, and Sierra Space are building the next generation of orbital platforms. Unlike the ISS, which was government-led and international, these new stations will be commercially operated, designed for research, tourism, and even corporate clients. Imagine labs where scientists can study medicine or materials in microgravity, hotels where astronauts or even civilians can experience life in space, and private hubs that support NASA's deep space missions. The possibilities are insane. These commercial stations will also help make space more accessible. Instead of relying solely on government funding and international agreements, private companies can innovate faster, test new technologies, and expand human presence in orbit like never before. In short, while the ISS has been our first home in space, the next generation of commercial stations promises a future where humans live, work, and even play in orbit. It's not just the US and private companies making moves in space. China has already launched its own Tiangong space station, and other countries, including Russia, Japan, and members of the European Space Agency, have ambitious plans for research platforms and orbital projects. The next decade could see a truly global presence in low Earth orbit. The sky isn't the limit, it's just the beginning. So, what does the retirement of the ISS and the rise of commercial space stations mean for the future of space? First, innovation will accelerate. Private companies are often faster and more flexible than government programs, which means new technologies, new research, and new ways to live and work in space could emerge at an unprecedented pace. Second, space could become more accessible. With commercial stations, not only astronauts but also scientists, engineers, and even space tourists might have the opportunity to experience life in orbit. This could open the door to discoveries we can't even imagine yet. Finally, these stations will serve as stepping stones for deeper space exploration. Whether it's lunar missions, Mars exploration, or beyond, having multiple operational platforms in low Earth orbit will give humanity the infrastructure we need to go further than ever before. The retirement of the ISS isn't the end. It's a launch pad for the next chapter in human space exploration. A future where space is not just a destination, but a place where humanity lives, works, and dreams bigger than ever. As the International Space Station prepares to retire in 2030, the next generation of commercial space stations could change everything we know about living in orbit. What do you think life aboard a private space station would look like? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and in the meantime, enjoy the view. If you're curious about the future of space and want to explore more cosmic mysteries, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Thanks for watching. Until next time, keep looking up.